The streams louder.
Hey, what's up guys, my name's Twitcher T-Scored, and today I'm bringing you guys a 42-1 PP90 infected MOAB on the map Underground, and I don't really have that much to say about the gameplay, but hopefully you guys do like this one. I thought 42-1 was a pretty good scoreline here, and in today's video, you guys, I want to actually go through and tell you guys my 10 favorite Pokemon from Generation 3, and I made like several videos 2 or 3 weeks ago, and that was telling you guys my favorite 10 and my least favorite 10s from Generation 1 and 2, and you guys really enjoyed those videos, and I really enjoyed making those, so now I'm going to be making 2 more videos, my 10 favorites and my 10 least favorites from Generation 3, and after Generation 3, you guys, I never played any of the Pokemon games after that, and those were Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, and I think ever since then, they made like Pokemon Diamond, Crystal, Platinum, like all these other games. Oh, Pokemon XY, you know, I never played any of those games, so after Generations 1, 2, and 3, I really don't know any of the ones after that. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this video here today. And the first one, you guys, is Swampert. And Swampert is pretty much the Generation 3 version of Blastoise. If you choose the water starter named Mudkip, after 2 evolves, he becomes Swampert. And it's kind of cool. It's kind of hard to describe Swampert. I don't really know what animal it is exactly, but I always chose Mudkip in the games for Generation 3 as my starter. And so I always loved getting Swampert in the games and battling with him. And I remember always getting him up to like level 99 in the games and stuff, so I always thought he was really cool. And the next one, you guys, is Pelipper, and Pelipper is basically just a big huge pelican. It evolves from Wingull, and I always just thought it was really cool because there's no other Pokemon that are like a big huge pelican, and so I always just thought Pelipper was really unique, and I always loved getting him in the games. And the next one, you guys, is Wailord, and Wailord evolves from Wailmer, and it's basically like a big huge whale or blimp, and I always just thought he was really cool. He's like blue and white, and it just looks pretty unique, and I always enjoyed getting him in the games as well. And the next one, you guys, is Sharpedo. Sharpedo, I don't think, it might evolve into something, but I can't really remember, but it's basically just a mini shark, and it looks pretty vicious, and it just looks really cool in my opinion. There's no other Pokemon I can think of that are like a shark, so I always thought Sharpedo was a pretty unique Pokemon, and I thought he looked really cool as well. And the next one, you guys, is Camerupt. Camerupt evolves from Numel, and it's basically a flaming camel that shoots like volcanoes and fire out of its back. And I always thought he was the coolest fire Pokemon from Generation 3. I didn't really like Blaziken, which was, Blaziken evolved, and he was basically the starter fire Pokemon, like the 3rd evolved form of that. So I didn't really like him too much, but Camerupt I thought was a really awesome Pokemon. Probably the coolest fire one from Generation 3. And the next one, you guys, is Seviper or Seviper or something, and he's basically a purple and black Viper, and I thought he looked really, really cool. He's basically the cooler Generation 3 version of Arbok from Generation 1, and I always thought Seviper was a really awesome Pokemon. And the next one, you guys, is Metagross, and Metagross evolves from Beldum and Metang, and he's basically a pseudo-legendary, which means he's kind of like Dragonite and Tyranitar, in that he's like 1 tier below the legendary Pokemon in Generation 3, so I always thought he was really cool. He's like a blue and red psychic Pokemon, and I always loved getting him in the games. You get him really far towards the end of the Pokemon games, but he was really, really awesome. And the next one, you guys, is Rayquaza. Rayquaza is the cover Pokemon of Pokemon Emerald. He's like a big, huge green and red serpent that flies, and I always loved him. He's one of my favorite legendary Pokemon ever, and just one of my favorites in general. And the next one, you guys, is Groudon. Groudon is the cover of Pokemon Ruby, and I always loved him as well. I love playing Pokemon Ruby so I could earn him, and I always loved doing battles with him and stuff in the games, and it's kind of hard to describe him. He's just kind of like a big, huge red and black monster looking thing. You guys will see a photo of him, but the last one, you guys, is Salamence, and Salamence is also a pseudo-legendary, just like Metagross. There were 2 pseudo-legendaries in Generation 3, and Salamence is kind of similar to Dragonite in the fact that it's like a dragon, except for he's smaller. He doesn't look as cartoony, and he's kind of like purple and red, and I always thought he was really awesome. So those are my 10 favorites from Generation 3, and there's going to be a photo of all 10 of these at the end of the video. Peace out, you guys.